Breaking this morning on DC News Now, a possible monumental move. What's next for the Caps and the Wizards as Virginia lawmakers greenlight plans to move both teams to Nova? Plus, a crisp and clear start to your Tuesday morning. When to expect our next chance of showers. Tackling truancy, DC Public Schools' growing issue of student absenteeism.
It's still unacceptably high.
And creating care packages for kids.
It brings so much for everyone in the family.
We're going to introduce you to the DMV doer who is helping pediatric patients get into the holiday spirit. DC News Now starts right now.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Good morning. Take a look at your screen right now. It is 7 o'clock on a Tuesday morning. It is a beautiful start to our morning, but it is a cold start to the morning. So keep that in mind when you're picking out your clothes or getting that hot or iced coffee. You probably definitely want something hot. Yes, it's cold. Well, good morning and thanks for starting your day with us. I'm Tanaya Wright.
Yeah, good morning to you. I'm Corey James. Shanika, she's tracking the roads out there for you this morning. We're going to check in with her in just a moment to get you out the door if you haven't already. But first, turning things over to Jackie, who's tracking that forecast. And yeah, for folks who are heading out the door, it is certainly cold. I think Manassas still 19 degrees.
Yes, and yeah, quite a few areas now into the upper teens. Woodstock, Luray, Culpeper also at 19 degrees. And I know we were talking about this earlier. Make sure to leave a little bit more of that extra time this morning to defrost those windshields and those car windows. Again, it is a much colder start out there this morning, and we're tracking drier conditions too. Upper 20s in Hagerstown. We're just below the freezing mark now officially in DC, but those wind chills is making it feel a little bit colder than those actual air temperatures. I would say several degrees colder than the actual air temperature, so account for that too before you step out as well. So if you're trying to plan out the rest of your day, again, it's a cold start, but at least temperatures will warm back up mid to upper 40s later on today. We'll see ample amounts of sunshine as well, so sunglasses will definitely be needed too. I'll have more details for the rest of that 7-day coming up. But Shanika's back with the all-important look at those roadways. What's the very latest?
All right. Well, yeah, give yourself a lot of extra time when you're heading out because, yeah, you're going to definitely want to warm up your vehicles. And it took me about 15 minutes this morning. Looking at the Capitol Beltway, things are looking pretty clear for the most part. I mean, you're in the 7 o'clock hour, so you definitely will expect some delays on the outer loop stretch. And you had delays pretty much all morning. Off of the Beltway, take it easy out there. We do have icy conditions along Frederick Road. So this is in Montgomery County, Rockville area, right near Shady Grove Road. There is a crash in that area as well, so they're working to clear that up.
Thank you, Shanika. Well, big news for sports fans overnight. A possible move across the river for our local NBA and NHL teams. According to the Washington Post, a commission of Virginia legislators has approved a plan to move the Wizards and Caps from the district to Alexandria. Our Lex Warris is live in the Potomac Yard neighborhood this morning. So, Lex, this is nowhere close to being final, but if it does happen, it would be huge.
Yeah, that's right. And it would be huge for not only the Commonwealth and Virginia, but also for the district as well. And for two different reasons, right? We've seen as Northern Virginia and this area specifically has grown over the years. And this would really expand on that growth that they are seeing. But over in the district and in Chinatown, taking the sports teams away from that neighborhood would be devastating. The amount of traffic and business these games bring into the city is big, and the Wizards and Capitals have played right there in Chinatown for decades. Now the threat of this change comes from Virginia lawmakers. They have plans to bring a massive development to Potomac Yard, complete with a place for basketball and hockey teams. Additionally, people could find themselves coming to the area for live music, with a separate concert venue also proposed with this plan. Folks who live in the neighborhood say the draw of Northern Virginia speaks for itself.
I think there's a reason the Commanders have looked at Woodbridge and Loudon, and there's a reason that Mr. Leonsis is looking for Potomac Yard. The
owner of Monumental Sports, which owns the Wizards and Caps, is reportedly asking for $600 million from D.C. to improve Capital One Arena. And with this proposed plan here now on the table in a thriving and growing area of the Commonwealth, this gives leverage as Monumental Sports is asking for that money from the district. Now, Mayor Bowser says she's working with the council chair, Phil Mendelson. They are working on a plan. They're going to be giving that proposal to Monumental Sports coming soon. Live in Alexandria, I'm Lex Juarez, DC News Now.
All right, Lex, thank you. Time right now is 7:04. Dozens in Prince George's County are calling for accountability after an officer was acquitted.
Supporters say that there needs to be an investigation into the Prince George's County State's Attorney's Office. Corporal Michael Owen was found not guilty in the death of William Green. Back in 2020, Green was handcuffed in the front seat after an accident. There was some sort of struggle, and then moments later, the officer shot Green several times. Ralliers calling on the state and the U.S. officials to investigate the Prince George's County State's Attorney's Office.
If she cared about this case, she wouldn't have walked out of that damn courtroom and blamed us. She would have acknowledged that her office played a role in this.
And you mean to tell me that your only resolution was to shoot him? 7 times. 7 times.
The family received a $20 million settlement from the county after the incident. Owen remains suspended without pay.
Police say they are taking down carjacking rings in Maryland and D.C. 10 people were federally indicted in connection to those rings, and prosecutors say many of those charged were teens.
Carjackers showed no mercy or remorse to the victim, who included a mother buckling her children, an elderly couple pulling into the driveway of their own home.
One defendant wrote GTA IRL, which we allege means Grand Theft Auto in real life. We need to have a serious response to show people that this is not a game.
And since the accused carjackers are under 25, D.C.'s Youth Rehabilitation Act could mean they serve shorter sentences. A former D.C. police officer is facing 32 years in prison for child abuse. 30-year-old Charles Johnson was convicted of sexually abusing a child when they were 9 and 10 years old. MPD says Johnson was placed on administrative leave when he was arrested last July. Johnson was let go from the department last month.
Your time right now is 7:06. The fight over a massive data center campus in Northern Virginia will take center stage today.
And it is called the Digital Gateway Project. If approved, we could see one of the largest data centers in the world built not far from the historic Manassas battlefield. DC News Now's Liberty Zabala is live this morning in Woodbridge, bringing all of this together for us. Liberty, good morning.
Good morning, Corey and Tanaya. Well, 3 rezoning bills are up for a vote today, and it could pave the way for the creation of this Digital Gateway Project. And so many people are passionate about it that they're already lining up outside of the building for their chance to speak, and some say they're not happy about it. Now, last November, the board approved a comprehensive plan that gave the green light for the Digital Gateway Project, but neighbors in the Gainesville area raised concerns with the developer's Compass data centers. A crowd even protested the development. Now, the Piedmont Environmental Council notes the Digital Gateway would be the largest data center campus in the world, stating it would be equivalent in size to all of Data Center Alley in Loudoun County. Now, opponents worry about noise pollution, environmental concerns, and disruption to nearby historical sites. Compass data centers say their design will help avoid their issues of concern, and they say their centers will bring jobs and tax revenue to the county.
The Compass and QTS both actually that you want to put data centers in, that's fine, but put them in the right areas, and that they don't belong next to Manassas National Battlefield.
And many opposing groups say they plan to hold a prayer vigil as well as a protest here ahead of the vote. Meanwhile, the meeting for this vote starts at 10 this morning. For now, live here in Prince William County, Liberty Zabala, DC News Now.
All right, Liberty, thank you. Time right now is coming up on 7:10. D.C. Council is holding a public hearing today on chronic absences.
That's after new data finds more than 40% of students were chronically absent last school year. The Office of the State Superintendent of Education says that chronically absent means any absence excused or unexcused. It also includes partial and full day absences for at least 10% of school days.
DC has some of the highest chronic absenteeism rates in the country. When students attend school consistently, they're more likely to graduate, go on to get and hold great jobs.
Today's hearing starts at 11:30. And in Arlington County, police say a woman in a black Subaru tried to lure a student into her car. That student was waiting to be picked up at Williamsburg Middle School Friday. The woman apparently told the child she was sent by their parents to pick them up. The student declined and the woman drove away. If you have any information about this, you are asked to call police.
A Virginia state lawmaker is pushing to increase funding for school construction. Now, this would allow the state to build new schools and renovate old ones. If approved, governments would be allowed to impose an up to 1% additional sales tax. According to the Department of Education, over half of all school buildings in Virginia are more than 50 years old.
No part of Virginia is immune to what we're experiencing. We're $25 billion behind in terms of the age and infrastructure of our school systems throughout Virginia. And so whether it's leaky roofs, HVAC systems, no kid should be learning in an environment that's not conducive.
The proposal must be approved by each city and county. If voters do not agree with the tax, it would not start in that area.